Imagine if we could send information back to ourselves, to warn ourselves of natural disasters, tsunamis, earthquakes, warn loved ones to stay out of situations that might lead to their death. My name is Ronald Mallett, and I believe that I can make time travel a reality. The book that I've written, co-authored with Bruce Henderson, who's a New York Times best-selling author, is Time Traveler. My book has been translated into a number of languages, and it talks about my journey through my eventual breakthrough using laser light to produce a time machine. The problem with the notion of time travel is that people get a lot of their notion from movies, but there is a real scientific basis. I actually solved Einstein's gravitational field equations, and my solutions to his equations showed that a circulating beam of light will actually cause space and time to become twisted. My inspiration came from two sources, my father and Albert Einstein. I idolized my father. He died of a massive heart attack when he was only 33 years old. And to say that I was devastated is an understatement. I went from being a rather happy kid to being a very, very depressed kid. I was only 10 years old. But I had this passion for reading. Okay, I was a real bookaholic. And when I was 11, I came across the book that changed my life, H.G. Wells' classic, The Time Machine. Where I thought, if I could go back into the past, I could see him again and maybe prevent what was going to happen. So that became my passion. This was way before Star Trek, so people weren't even sure about going into space, let alone time travel. And I remember one day seeing the second book that changed my life. It had a picture of Einstein, and next to Einstein was an hourglass. Einstein said there are ways you can alter time. I knew that if I could understand Einstein, then that would be what I would need. A company in California sent me these candles done almost in sort of religious style. It's called the Patron Saints of Time Travel, and they have me included in wonderful company. Einstein developed his general theory of relativity, and to put that simply, gravity can affect time. But in addition to that, according to Einstein's theory, light can also create gravity. And my breakthrough was based on this. If gravity can affect time and light can create gravity, then light can affect time. And this is the basic equation that shows the twisting of space. Now, throughout our entire life, even though we're not conscious of it, we all move along a timeline from the past to the present to the future. Time and space are connected to each other. If I can twist space strongly enough, then I should be able to twist time, which is connected to space, into a loop. So imagine that I take that straight line and I make that line into a loop. Now I can move from the past to the present to the future. So theoretically, it would be possible to actually travel back into the past by using the gravitational field created by a circulating beam of light. But that has to be now shown experimentally, which means that we have to have equipment to do that. So the limitation of a real time machine would be that one could only travel back to the point where the machine was turned on. So that means, in some sense, that we cannot visit our ancestors, but our descendants could visit us once the real time machine is turned on. When I'm talking about traveling to the past, I'm talking about trying to send information back to the past. The twisting of space is what actually leads eventually to the twisting of time. The amount of energy for the time twisting portion of this is enormous. I'm talking about galactic energies, way beyond what we're able to technologically develop right now. I believe that we'll be able to overcome that with innovation. But the reality is funding. The cost of building this equipment is expensive, extremely expensive, and that's where things are right now. An interesting coincidence to me, and one of the things that makes Back to the Future one of my favorite movies, is that Marty McFly travels back to 1955.
November 5th, 1955. That was the day I invented time travel.
1955 was the year that my father died, was exactly the same year that Einstein died. In fact, they died just a month apart from each other. And that's always made that movie have a special meaning for me. My initial motivation for time travel was being able to go back into the past to change my father's fate. The thing is that the limitation that it seems to be occurring is the fact that I won't be able to do that. But for me, what I'm proud of and what I think that my father would be proud of is actually something that occurred to me when I gave my first technical presentation. And this had physicists from all over the world. And one of the physicists was a man named Bryce DeWitt, very well known within the physics community. And during the question and answer period, he said, "I don't know whether you'll ever see your father again, but he would have been proud of you." That was like it. I mean, for me, that just brought it all together. Everything that I am, the person that I am, is due to this love I had for my father and this passion to see him again. And I've taught generations of students, and many of them have come back and told me how much I affected their life. And so for me, that has been a very, very important aspect of my life that I feel my father would be proud of, as well as what I've been able to achieve.